Oh, hello there. We are here. Welcome to the cup where the tea is always piping hot and we are always ready to spill. I am Lana, your resident diva. You know, the one who loves the tea, gets the tea, sips the tea, drinks the tea, all of it. That is me. She is me. Welcome to the cup. I'm drinking strawberry sunkiss. That's right. Strawberry sunkiss. The strawberriest of all the strawberries drinks. So yes, strawberry sunkiss. Go have a bottle.
I love it. And I'm Logan Murphy, just a gay. I have G Fuel, and I'm going to be very honest. I was almost about to grab my strawberry flavored one, and then I remembered that I was out of it. So it made me very sad. So as an alternative, we have orange cranberry.
Period.
Which is my favorite flavor. So,
well,
there's that.
There we go. We're talking about Survivor 42. So grab your cups, get your drinks, get ready, buckle down. Let's get into it because we have a lot to discuss. A lot happened. A lot of everything, something, nothing, everything happened.
Really, the challenge, and
the tribal council. Yeah,
that's really. That's
where the drama takes place.
The best part too. We didn't even get a tribal focused portion of the start of the episode on Ika.
No,
we literally just saw Ika at the challenge, and that's it. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. The less Tori we can have on our screens, the better.
Yeah. Let me just jump in and say.
Sure.
I love Marianne so much. I have to start here.
Yeah.
The brightness, sunshiny of Marianne, I love so dearly. I don't understand Marianne the player.
Same.
Because Marianne the player talks too much and is very open, very willing to share everything. And I just she's so trusting of everybody in this tribe. And I'm like, babe, they really wanted to vote you out. It was literally between you and Mariah at the last time y'all went to tribal. So it's kind of like, oof, I don't know how you feel so comfortable with telling them everything. I would not have mentioned anything about my extra vote, but she came right out, was like, and we have 5. And I'm like, no, you have an extra vote. They don't have anything. And if the second y'all go back to tribal, they're looking at you for your extra vote. And then we jump into the day and they're like, what's the game plan for the day? We'll all go idol hunting and then we'll come back and do something else. And they look and they're looking, they're seeing bugs, like, oh, bugs. I'm like, you're outside. Of course they're bugs. But they're bugs and they're going, looking for and Marianne finds the beware idol clue.
I mean, we knew it was coming because this is the iconic moment from the trailer. Do we want to recreate it right now, Lana?
Sure.
Yes. You be Marianne, I'll be Omar. That makes the most sense. Let's be honest here. But, it's fine. But so they're walking along and Marianne's finding these spiders and then the moment that I love.
Marianne finds it with Omar and takes it and finds out the beware that now she no longer has a vote
Mm-hmm.
and she has to wait until this idol is activated with everybody. And
I feel like her phrase is even worse than Mike's.
yeah.
It's the classic case. It's another classic case of the bunny rabbit having dinner in the mailbox.
Who
Okay,
says that?
what kind of fucking shrooms did Jeff Probst have while in Fiji to come up with all of this? This is probably the stupidest phrase of across both seasons.
Yeah, I think so. Because at least the one with Xander, he could play it off of, I must be hallucinating because I'm so hungry, that I think
Yeah.
the trees are broccoli, or whatever his phrase was. Like, he could have played that off, like, whoo, and be like, y'all, I'm so hungry and so tired.
Thank
Like,
God Nasir only had to talk about goats once, because
oh,
otherwise he was screwed. Goats on
it's just,
AstroTurf.
it's just so weird. But like, what?
Did you see? I'm so sorry, tangent for a second. Did you see that? I think Nasir got a goat on AstroTurf tattooed, like after the season.
Not that.
I
I did
love
not.
it.
I
I'm
didn't
so
see
on
it.
board for it. I absolutely love it.
I did not see that, but okay, this year. Do you? You live your best life. But yeah. So Marianne not only finds this with Omar, but then she tells everybody now she no longer has a vote. If they weren't looking at her already for the extra vote, now she has no vote and a possibility to gain an idol. They're gonna get that out of there if they lose. And so for me, I'm like, Marianne is great for, like, she's a heartfelt, warm, just a radiant light beam, sunshine all around. But as a game player, not the best.
Yeah. I get so frustrated. And I really hope that this Taku tribe doesn't go back to tribal before merge, honestly. Because the moment they do, she goes home.
Yeah,
and
she
like
goes.
I just don't want that to happen. The interesting thing as well is, like, yes, she has this extra vote. She also can't use it, I believe.
No, I don't think she can use it.
Because didn't Xander also get an extra vote and have the beware advantage, and he couldn't? Yeah. So it's just, oh God, Marianne. I understand wanting to be so trustworthy, because there's that part of my mind that's like, if I was there for even like 2 or 3 days with these people, like, I would want to create such strong connections, because we're all like the only people going through this exact experience together at this one time. But it's oh God, I fear for her, and I don't want anything to go wrong.
No, because you have to remember, it also is a game, and you can't just go in openly, willy-nilly, trusting everybody, because everybody is trying to win the same thing you're trying to win. And so everybody's not going to be as honest or as open like you are. You have to feel people out and see, like, sure, I can trust you, but can I trust you enough to tell you all my information? And I don't know if she has, like, she should be so open to give that trust to everybody. Maybe one person, but I feel like even with one person telling one of them, they just like telling all of them, because they are so stuck up under each other. So it's unfortunate. I don't, like I said, not a fan of the gameplay, but still, she has
Love the
heart.
human.
Love the human.
Love the human.
Love the human. So,
yeah.
we move.
And we jump over to Vati.
Oh, Daniel.
I don't think I've ever turned on a Survivor player this quickly. It was in this moment I turned on him, and then was justified later on. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But Daniel's going along and he's like, you know, I've got this good inn. I've got Chanel. I've got Hi and Lydia thinking that I want to work with them. And we've got Mike and Jenny. And like Mike doesn't have a vote, but like me being a law clerk, I need to like look at this. And then literally demands that Mike give him the idol so he can read the clue. And then Mike goes along with it. I'm like, what?
Because everybody feels like Daniel, they can trust him. But I'm like, why?
And then he loses Mike's idol. I have no words, honestly. It's day 6. It's day 6.
I want to be like, did he lose it though? Did he lose it or did he steal it? And
a question we probably will never have answered.
Yep. We probably won't. Because everybody who watches Survivor knows whoever's in possession of it is the one who owns it, who it belongs to. So, I don't know. Daniel is he's just, I mean, maybe it's me. And maybe it's my lack of trust for white men, straight white men in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just would never trust him with anything. But that's, like I said, that's probably because of my experience in life, I just don't have that same amount of, I want to feel comfortable and trusting the straight white man. It takes a lot for me to trust straight white men because I've been done over wrong by so many of them. So it's in game, not just in life, but in games. So that another thing that will set me off if I was in this situation and playing this game this season with a person like a Daniel, I would be like,
Daniel on that tribe is the last person I would trust.
Would be the last person. Literally.
And he was literally the last person for Chanel. Like, she didn't have a choice. She has to work with him. We'll put it in the past tense now.
Yeah.
But
it's just sick. It's just sick, honestly.
Yeah. So then we're at the immunity challenge.
Yes.
And it's day 7. Marianne says her line, and we see a confessional from Mike being like, I was waiting to see if someone from the Ika tribe was going to say it, and they didn't, so I'm going to hold on to it, because if I can make it to merge with this, and nobody knows about it, that's best case scenario. And I'm like, it's
a great idea.
It was Daniel's idea, unfortunately, as we saw in the last episode, but really smart that Mike is like taking that on and actually listening to that idea. So like, I like Mike too. I even like him after what happens in this episode. He gets a little caught up, but I do really like Mike so far. So yeah.
Same.
So this challenge, you have to swim out, get a ladder from the ocean floor. I mean, we're at like shallow waters, but whatever. So you have to untie some knots, get your ladder off, move your ladder in the water to your tribe, like pole or whatever, go up, grab the keys, which will...
You gotta get the buoy. That's to let the ladder go, right? Never mind.
Yeah, that's the
let the ladder go. The buoy has to come up, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Yeah. The buoy comes up, and then you take it.
Yeah.
And then you have to...
I just like saying buoy. Saying buoy.
Isn't it a great word? Buoy.
Buoy. I love that word. Okay.
Yeah.
We're sick.
So they have to take the ladder from the buoy, and then you have to hold the ladder up in the water while someone goes up, unties the keys, which then you go back to the beach, use the ladder again, climb up, grab your sandbags, and then it's this like staggered pedestal moment where then you have to shoot sandbags onto this thing.
Okay. Can I just say? Let's just say.
I think we were going to start with the same topic.
Yeah. The name of this challenge should be Jonathan.
Jonathan. The
That's
Jonathan of it all.
This is the name of this challenge. They should change the name to the Jonathan Challenge if they ever decide to do something like this again, because Jonathan ate this challenge up. Like literally, but one man show. Omar was struggling swimming. Marianne was struggling swimming. Everybody, because the ocean was not polite to these castaways. Like none of this ocean was very angry and did not care who was in it. It was like, why are you in me today anyway? I'm angry. And he showed no mercy to anybody in this challenge. None of them. The ocean was not happy.
I'm going to be really honest, Lana. I was very turned on by Jonathan in this entire challenge.
Me too. Me too. I literally just watched it and was like, I want to go down to Gulf Shores now and go find Jonathan.
You better. And I mean,
he's literally like 3 hours away from me.
I'm just saying.
I was very turned on by Jonathan in this one too. And I was like, oh, I did not think I would. I mean, I thought like he's very nice to look at. We can't take that away from this man. But I was also like, but he's still a straight white man. So I'm just like, oof. But this man, he did that today.
He's a nice man to look at.
Yes, he did that. He did, and he was dragging people along, yanking them like the way he yanked Marianne and pulled her. I was like, oof, poor me. Oh no, let me be quiet. I was about to go.
No, I was like, Jonathan yanked me like that. Shit.
I was like, poor me, daddy. Do that. Okay, but that's not what we're here about.
That's always what we're here about. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's
not fully, but Lana, I'm gonna need you to pause, pray, and proceed.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
So yes.
He was helping everything. Then he carried the ladder on his shoulder by himself.
While also dragging Omar.
People.
I guess it's Omar. Also, by the way,
Omar. Okay,
that's the pronunciation that everyone seems to be saying on his tribe. So I'm gonna go with it, but also I'm probably gonna forget at some point and just say Omar. But I guess that might be the pronunciation. I'm not too sure. Anyway, dragging Omar, dragging Marianne. Taku, and by Taku I mean Jonathan and Lindsay to an extent. She did the climbing, so like good on you, Lindsay. But they finished the challenge before anyone has even gotten their keys.
Yes, that was called a complete shut out. And it should have been one immunity idol. Both of them tribes should have to go to immunity for the way they got embarrassed by the Taku tribe, by Jonathan, not the Taku tribe, by Jonathan, because Jonathan literally did it all. He grabbed the ladder, he went under, get the buoy. He came out with the ladder. He drug the ladder. He drug everybody else. He took the ladder to the thing, got the key. He did the sandbags, all of them, and put them up there with ease. Like nobody else had to do nothing in the challenge but swim and get to the mat. That's all they had to do was get to the mat. And Jonathan took care of the rest. This was Jonathan's challenge by far. And no other team even got their key by the time Taku finished, which was amazing. And so people are struggling. They're struggling. They are struggling.
They had the nerve, cheek, gall, audacity, and gumption to do a slow-mo crossfade of everyone else drowning.
The cinematography was amazing.
Gorgeous. But I was like, y'all are disrespectful for this. And then at one point, Roxroy gets his head caught in the ladder. And I was like, we can't kill this man. He has 2 kids.
Right.
What are we doing? So Jeff,
they just go ahead.
for the first time in
Ever.
42 seasons, stop the challenge, bring everybody in, and they're like, this is not okay. We're gonna go grab your keys, give them to you, and then we're gonna finish the challenge.
Because none of y'all were gonna finish.
No. The only person who would have finished this challenge is if Jonathan had joined one of the other tribes. Like, that's the only way.
It was.
And then I was like, who are these beefy production men that are grabbing these keys? I was like, I got very short snippets, but I was like, oh, hi, hello, hi. Yes, hi, hello.
I feel like, you know how in Survivor they always get some people who are locals? That's who those people were. Those were locals who are used to that water, used to the choppiness of that water, could able swim out there, do what they got to do, and come on back. So, yes, hello, Fijian men. You looked amazing and spectacular.
Yes, absolutely. So, they get their keys. They get to the challenge. It's neck and neck at this point. They both end up with 4 apiece, and it is a nail biter, but Miss Drea pulls out the win for the Aikawang tribe, and they receive immunity as well. This was also a reward challenge. So Taku won, what was it, like a building gear set and fruits. But then they swapped it. Jeff gave them the option of the fishing kit.
Okay.
For the building kit or whatever, and they took the fishing kit. Obviously,
I would have did the same thing.
Everybody else had it, so why not take that?
Right. I would rather take the fishing gear because I'm like, we built everything we needed to build with what we had, the little stuff that we had. We already have a shelter. We already have the stuff that we can build with. We need to eat. And so we need to get some fish. So yeah, I would have done the same thing and picked the fishing rods too. Fishing pole.
And then Ika gets a smaller amount of fish and a smaller like building kit, whatever. I wrote it down. Toolkit. It's a toolkit. That's what it's called. Yes.
Okay.
Those are words
those are things that go together.
Yes. So they win, and then we get the first instance of after the immunity challenge, choose some people to go on a journey twist. So Taku got to pick someone from Vati. They chose Chanel. And then they could pick anyone else from either their tribe or the Aikawang tribe, and Omar decides to go with Chanel, which makes sense. I mean, if they're a tight 4 like they say they are, send one of them. Marianne's already gone, so sure. So that is where we end up after the immunity challenge. But first we do a quick check-in over at Vati, and we start the craziness.
Yeah.
So Jenny obviously went on the first journey, so she knows that Chanel has a choice, and it's probably the same choice she had. But she's thinking Chanel's not going to risk her vote. So we have, and Mike obviously doesn't have a vote.
Right.
So we have her vote, or Jenny's vote, we have Chanel's vote, and we have Daniel's vote. Boom, 3 on Lydia. Lydia goes home. Well, the funny thing about that, Lana, is Hai and Lydia also seem to think that they have Chanel and Daniel on side. They're like, okay, cool. 4 votes. We'll take out Jenny. No problem. It's all good. Then we cut over to the journey. I wish there was a more unique name for it other than just going on a journey. That's like the one critique I have for this is like,
I thought they called it the summit.
Oh, that's actually kind of cute.
Yeah, it was the summit.
Send them to like, I don't know, Castaway Summit. I don't know, just name things. I just want it to be named. I don't know. And Chanel and Omar make their trek up to the summit, and then they talk, and they both agree that they want to try to do something that will be beneficial for the other person.
I I have no words for this nonsense because I see this is the thing. Chanel's part of our world, as we
Yes.
like to say it. Chanel's part of our world, the org world. Chanel has played these games and knows, you know, I would like to think Chanel knows when is a smart time to take the risk, when is not the smart time to take the risk. And I feel that when you are the tribe that is on your way to tribal council and it's already a small tribe, every vote is important.
Yeah.
And so in order for you to do things that's going to benefit you, you need a vote. And so I don't understand the reasoning behind Chanel deciding to take the risk with her vote when she was on her way to tribal. I understand why Omar felt he could take the risk because
Absolutely.
he's not on his way to tribal. He's sitting pretty. If he get an extra vote, great for him. He gets an extra vote. I don't understand why she would risk it at this moment on your way to tribal. And I was like, this is what I don't like about Survivor super fans and people who love Survivor so much, or any game really, because we see these games that we idolized and watched forever and loved so much, and we see all the powers and all the advantages and all this stuff, and we're so excited that we just want to take them all, irregardless of if it's good for my game or not good for my game. It's like you want to be like, it's Survivor, I gotta take the risk. Or Que Sera, it's Big Brother, I gotta push the button. Or whatever, when it might not be beneficial to your game. And in this moment, as much as I love Chanel,
Yep.
I did not think it was beneficial to take the risk with your vote when you're on your way to tribal. And I feel like you only took it just because it's Survivor and you always wanted to take a power or take an advantage in Survivor.
Well, she says in her confessional, it's something along the lines of like, she didn't come to play a timid game. That's not the word she used, but it was something along those lines. And I was like, it's also day 7. But I also understand because it's a 26-day season. We saw that a lot last season, and I feel like we're going to see that a lot this season, where it's like it's a shorter game. There's less time to like get the advantages and make the moves. So I don't agree with it, and I'm not going to try to rationalize it because I don't necessarily think it was a rational decision. But like, part of my brain can understand why she did it.
Every advantage is not a good advantage.
Exactly.
And that's what people need to learn how to play when they go play these games. Just because it's an advantage doesn't mean it's going to be a good advantage for you in that moment. Sometimes you have to let advantages pass by because it's not beneficial to your game. And I think in this moment, she should have let this advantage pass by because it's not beneficial to you. And as we will see later, things get a little bit messy, and it's now obvious what happened to her on this journey. And so it just was not smart in my head.
And Omar even says, like, she's on her way to tribal. There's no chance in hell she's gonna
risk it. Right.
Well, Omar didn't say in hell,
but he said there's no way she's gonna risk it.
I do. But yeah, so they both risk their vote. Mm-hmm. And now we are left in a situation where over at Vati, there's only 4 votes. And we're left in a situation where over at Taku, there's only 2 votes.
Yep.
Jonathan and Lindsay are the only 2 people that currently have votes.
But in this, but see the difference between Omar and Chanel. Omar is in a great position where he doesn't even have to have his vote because they're not looking at him. If they went to tribal tomorrow, it wouldn't be him. Even if he told him, I don't have a vote, those 2 votes will go to Marianne and her vote will go to one of them and she's still gone.
She doesn't have a vote, remember?
Oh, she doesn't have a vote. So literally 2 votes. So Jonathan and Lindsay has all the power in the Taku tribe to what they want to do. So unless they don't go back to tribal until merge, and
which
then
is only 2 episodes away.
I think so. I would think so.
It has to be at
It has to
12
be.
again, right?
I would think so.
I think so too.
So yeah, it will
Just
have
Jonathan win 2 immunity challenges. That's all we're asking.
That's all we're asking, because I don't
That's
want
all we're
Marianne to go.
asking.
So,
that part. If anyone from that tribe, honestly, I'd be fine with Lindsay going.
Same.
I like her. She's just not.
Yeah, you know what? I like her more than I thought I would, because
Agreed.
At first I was like, oh, I'm not gonna really like her.
Well,
but I think she's doing what she needs to do in this game. Is she a little flippant and very comfortable right now? Yes, because she's very comfortable and she's just like, this person needs to go, and that's it. It is, she's doing very Jersey, like, this girl is gone, it's it, done.
If she makes it to merge, I have a sneaking suspicion she's going to be the merge boot. Especially if Taku are low in numbers. Like, I just feel like her, and we talked a little bit about this in a previous episode with Marianne as well. Like, her and Marianne seem to have the kind of personality where either you're going to love them or you're going to hate them.
Yep.
And it is a split-second decision on whether you love or hate them. And I don't know necessarily how Marianne will be reacted to, but also how Lindsay will be reacted to if she does make it to that merge situation.
Yeah. I think she'll have a connection with Mike, because they both got that Jersey thing going on, and they understand each other in the Jersey way.
Well, and she also has an inherent connection with both Drea and Hai because of the episode 1 amulet thing.
True.
Because lest we forget, they all have amulets. So maybe they'll target each other, maybe they'll work together. Who knows? I'm excited to see.
Me too.
Because at this point, I'm not super comfortable, but I'm fairly comfortable saying I think all 3 of them will make merge.
I kind of think so too.
Truly, anything can happen, and we'll talk about it. I didn't expect the person who went home this episode to go home. So literally anything could happen. But
so let's get to what we came to get to, because honestly, I feel like everything in between the Vatu craziness was just it. So it was just crazy.
There's one moment before Tribal that sets up a few things at Tribal that I did want to touch on before we get to Tribal. And that's when Chanel gets back to camp. And so Chanel gets back. Daniel is like, it's Lydia or Jenny. And she's like, okay, we're voting Lydia. But also, I'm pretty sure I don't have a vote. And Daniel's like, oh, crap. What are we going to do here? So Chanel and Daniel are both like, they're in with Mike and Jenny. The plan going into Tribal is to vote Lydia. But they're faking to Hai and Lydia that they're going to vote with them to vote against Jenny. And this is where Chanel, in my opinion, goes a little bit too far in the planning and the strategizing, because she then offers a plan to split the vote between Mike and Jenny, because they want, now knowing that there's only 4 votes in play, and 2 of them are from Jenny, or well, one of them is from Jenny. Yeah. But they want to split the vote so that way the vote ends up being 2-1-1, where Lydia still goes. So Chanel and Daniel are pitching this plan, and Hai, this is where I'm on board with Hai even more than I already was. Hai is like, it's a little suspicious that as soon as Chanel comes back from this journey, she's suddenly acting a little bit frantic and coming to us with this plan to split the votes. Like, it doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. That leads us into Tribal, where, Lord, I got my notebook because I took a lot of notes here. So Chanel openly talks about how the choice on her journey was to play it safe or take a risk. She says in front of everyone that she plays it safe, and you cut to Hai at this moment, and he's like, because Hai's facial expressions were giving me everything in this Tribal. And Mike believes her. openly is like, yeah, I believe her. She hasn't done anything to make me think she's lying. She is. But she hasn't done anything yet. And then Daniel, on one of his tangents, openly is like, I'm going to lose Survivor 42, and this is why. And I'm like, huh? Proceeds to talk about how he's in a constant state of paranoia and he needs someone to calm him down. To which Jeff asks, okay, well, is there anyone in here, or like, who calms you down is the basic question. And he goes, well, Mike calms me down, Chanel calms me down, my mom calms me down. And this is where High's facial expression goes from to, because he knows some shit is happening. And I felt like this was kind of very revealing from Jeff in a way. Not that Jeff is supposed to get involved, but I felt like asking this question was a little too pointed. I don't know if you agree. I understand if you don't. For me, it's like it wasn't setting him up for this whole moment, but it felt a little bit more pointed than some of the questions he would normally ask at a tribal.
I mean, I feel like, I don't think it was too pointed. I feel like Daniel led him to ask that question in his tyrant, and going on and on about he's so paranoid, he needs to be calm, blah, blah, blah. And he brought Jeff to that question when he said, I need someone to calm me down. So if I'm a host and my job is to ask questions, or interviewer, and my job is to ask questions, when somebody says, I need people to calm me down, or someone to calm me down, I'm like, well, who here calms you down? I think that was a obvious next question to you leading me into, I need someone to calm me down. And you're in a tribe of 4 or 5 people. Who calms you down in this moment? Or 6 people. So who calms you down? And so I feel like, I don't think it was Jeff, but what I am shocked about is that he actually literally started naming people. Like, for me, I'm like
if he had just named,
if he would have just said my mom, if he would have just said my mom calms me down, but she's not here, so I'm gonna have to figure something out. Bam.
Or even, I think it's a very understood dynamic on this tribe within the 6 of them that there are 3 pairs. Okay. So if he had even just only said Chanel and then mentioned his mom or whatever, but I think if he had said just Chanel and not included Mike, I don't think the red flags would have gone off in High's mind.
That's true.
But the fact that High is under the impression that he's about to vote, and there's about to be 4 votes on Jenny, 2 of which are coming from Daniel and Chanel. And Daniel mentions Mike as someone that calms him down.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. And I love seeing the wheels turn in High's mind at this point. And then, I don't know if he actually saw it, but there's a moment where Chanel turns to Daniel. Because Chanel is on like the far... in their view, it's the far left side of the benches, and then Daniel's kind of on the far right, and the furthest right is High. And so Chanel turns to Daniel at one point and is like, Lydia. And I don't know if High saw that.
The way they edited it, it made it look like he saw that. Did. But I don't know if he did or not. Yeah. Because this is what makes me think he didn't. Because if he saw that, and when stuff that later happened, he could have easily been like, so is that why you said what you said? You know what I'm saying? So he could have brought that up, but he didn't. So I'm not sure if he saw it or not, but I just know the way they edited it made it look like he did. I just going into like High was very much on alert throughout this whole tribal, and like you said, the stuff that happened at camp before they left kind of put him on alert. High, like you said, his expressions gave me everything I needed, and everything. And he was just like, "What?" Like High saw things. High was on alert, and I loved it.
And if Hai hadn't noticed, Lydia probably would have gotten just voted out initially, because his vote was initially in the plan that they came up with Chanel and Daniel. The plan was for the guys to vote Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And so what ends up happening is not that.
Right.
There's only 4 votes cast, and it's a 2-2 tie between Jenny and Lydia.
And this is where we get more
Hai
expression. I was like,
so they revote, obviously, because it's a tie.
Mm-hmm.
We know how ties work in Survivor. So and
2-2.
Jeff brings the urn back. No, it's 1-1.
1-1. Yeah, 1-1.
There are only 2 votes in the urn.
And Hai's
like, and then they cut to commercial, and then they come back from commercial, and Jeff is like, well, here's how this is going to work. And Hai kind of cuts in, and Jeff is like, what's up, Hai? And he's like, where are the votes?
So, who count the votes? Where are the votes? Recount. You're not missing something in this urn.
So Jeff explains, rocks if you can't come to a consensus. And then he's like, whether you wanted to reveal it or not, there are 2 people clearly within the 4 people that were eligible to vote that didn't vote. So now, who didn't vote? And Mike and Chanel are forced to raise their hands. And it is now a decision solely between Hai and Daniel. And if they don't come to a consensus, then Hai, Daniel, Mike, and Chanel all have to draw rocks, and someone's going home.
Yep.
And I was gooped and gagged. I thought we were going to rocks on episode 3 of season 42 of Survivor. Truly, I thought we were going to rocks.
I would have loved to have gone to rocks. It would have been cool to see. But of course, yet again, another white man disappoints us all. And
because then, the whole time this conversation is happening, Hai is like, Jenny, I love you. I'm not changing my vote because you and Mike are very clearly voting based on strength of the tribe. And if that's the case, then Lydia's going to get voted out and I'm going to get voted out next. So it's nothing against you. I love you, but I'm not changing my vote from you. And Daniel, to nobody's surprise, does a bit too much talking, because now he's backtracking on his vote because Hai is like, well, why didn't you vote with us? And Daniel has the nerve, cheek, audacity, and gumption to say that he voted on Chanel's behalf, and that's what Chanel wanted to do.
Yet again, I will say it again. Another white man throws a black woman under the bus and completely tries to gaslight everybody in that tribe about what he wanted to do instead of being a man and owning up to his move. Now, this is the thing for me, Daniel. Literally, all he had to do was say, you're not changing your vote, Hai? Hai's like, no, Jenny, I love you, but I'm not changing my vote. Well, I don't want to go to rock, so I will change my vote. He didn't have to throw Chanel under the bus. He didn't have to say any of that. He literally, all he had to say was, I don't want to go to rocks because I don't feel comfortable. So unfortunately, Jenny, since Hai is dead set on changing his vote, I'm going to have to change my vote. And that would have been it. That would have been it. And nobody would have blamed him for it because nobody really want to go to rocks. He had the decision. It was his decision to make. And he made that decision. Nobody would have been mad. But the fact of the matter that you had the audacity, the gall, the gumption to say, I only did this because that's what Chanel wanted to do, and I was voting on her behalf. That's not how survival works, my boy. You don't vote on other people's behalf. You vote on you have their own vote, and you vote how you want to vote. If that's not how you wanted to vote, then you would have voted for Jenny in the first place. But obviously, that's how you wanted to vote because that's how you voted. And I hope when they get back to camp, Chanel goes off on him and convinces Hai and Lydia, like, look, don't believe this junk that I made him vote. That's a grown man. I can't make him do nothing. He does what he wants to do. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I was so done with that man in that moment. Like everything beforehand, I could care less. But in that moment, I was like, you, sir, are the grossest of all gross. If you would have did that to anybody, you would have been the grossest of all gross. Because that's just a gross. Like, that's just gross.
Yeah.
To try to act like you had no power. Somebody forced you to do something. That is weak. That is so pathetic. And that is so just like, ugh. How dare you? Don't sit here and act like you had no agency, you had no freedoms. They put a gun to your head and made you vote for Lydia when you didn't really want to. No, because if you didn't want to, you would have voted for Jenny in the first place.
You were going to try to get away with this whole plan. And if Chanel had her vote, Lydia would have gone home. And then Hai would have gone after that. So... But instead, Daniel continues talking and says that he feels backstabbed by Chanel, to which she replies, no. No. And the end result is incredibly sad because he does change his vote and we lose Jenny. I didn't want to lose either of them.
Me either.
Honestly.
I hated that it even came down to them.
Same.
I really wish it was Daniel, but whatever.
I wish they had gone to rocks, and I wish they had just planted the whatever rock in Daniel's hand, and he had gone home.
Same. As he should. He deserves to go. He deserves to go. It's just annoying because this man is just gross.
Yep.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, I guess, when we watch the next episode.
Yep.
But I really hope they put that man in his place. I hope Hai and Jenny don't believe him, but I don't see that happening. I think they still will want to work with him because whatever. But I need Chanel to at least go off on this man. He deserves it because he did it. I'm very sad that Jenny was going. My power suit, my power pantsuit. You know, I love that pantsuit so much. She looks so good in her picture. I wanted Jenny to stick around. They just literally cut off the smartest person on that tribe.
Oh yeah, if they have puzzles, they're fucked.
They so screwed. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But whatever. I'm sad for Jenny. I wanted Jenny to be around much longer.
Yeah. But that's not how it's happening on Survivor 42, apparently. But that's that. We have another episode, and it's bound to be good.
I can't wait.
This season, you know, episode 2 was a little bit of a dull, but you know what? We're picking back up.
Yep.
Episode 3 was pretty good, minus the Jenny departure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see what else comes in this pre-merge.
Me too. I think it's going to be interesting to watch, and I can't wait to do it. So, you know what y'all need to do? Let me tell you what y'all need to do. Follow on Twitter at @thecup_reality so you can get all the updates on what is to come for the Cup, our schedule that we sort of kind of follow. So follow us to know when we're going to be live, when we're going to drop a recording or whatever. Also, like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching us on Twitch, like, do all of the things. And then if you so feel like it, and you continue to want to know how we do in our daily lives, follow Logan and I on Twitter, because that's where we are most of the time, and that's where our stuff is, and that's where we show off our cool selves. So follow us on Twitter, and just keep watching. We appreciate you all for watching. And if you have comments, please leave your comments in the comment section. Tell us what you thought about the episode. Tell us what you thought about Jenny being the boot. Tell us about how you feel about the Daniel fiasco. Give us all the tales. Tell us how you feel about the Jonathan challenge, because that's what it was called.
We truly saw the best and worst of the straight white men in this episode.
We really did. We really did. We saw the gambit, but tell us how you feel. Tell us, we're big boys and girls. We can take it if you like it. If you don't, let us know. Yep. Will we change for you? Probably not.
No, because we are Marianne stans through and through, despite how she might not be playing well.
But we thank you for watching. We appreciate you. And as we say here on the cup, cheers.
Cheers. Bow.
Wow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye now.
Daniel sucks. Marianne rocks. Period.
Stan Marianne for clear skin.
Yes.